It's just me, but I do like the blue seat, the stock seat of the Africa Twin, and it's a little bit plusher. It's I had it at the house because I bought the bike with the stock seat, and then I bought the Corbin hoping it would be much more comfortable, and it wasn't. This one actually feels more comfortable. It's a little bit more padding, softer. My ass was hurting, but maybe it's just because I just got on it. Filled up. 20 euros, man. That's like $25. Mostly deserted roads. Mostly peaceful roads. Oh boy, this thing just, I did not see that bump. Good thing I had my hands on the handlebars. Thing that I don't get in the United States, it's all the guys that ride around, they put this hand on their hip like this. I don't get it. What is that, a show or something? It's like, put your hands on the handlebars and ride. They're putting their hands here on, riding on the highway like, they just seem so put upon, you know, like, oh, this guy in front of me is going so slow. I'm gonna show him how bored I am by putting my hand on my hip. Never understood that. There's like these weird things. Luckily, that doesn't exist here, but one of the trends that I do see is the stupid furry helmet trend. That furry helmet stuff is here. One thing I don't see is the obnoxious music playing for everybody to hear. Damn, they gotta build some better guardrails. That's a long way down. We're riding Caramulo again. This road just does not disappoint. It's pretty well manicured as well. This is quickly becoming one of my favorites, except right now it's like rush hour. You see this? Oh my god, what are you doing here? Let me see if I can figure out a way to pass. I mean, look at this. Unbelievable. Look at this. Ruin it. Pull over, jerk. He was going to cut right through the road. I'm glad I honked. I think the transition from twisty to twisty is harder on this bike than a bike with 17-inch wheels. Even 19-inch wheels are better. But it still is extremely flickable. It just, the transition is a little bit slower back to the next curve. The engine do a lot of the work for you by slowing you down gradually. If you guys can take anything away from the riding, is do your best to use engine braking. It's so much nicer than braking. The bike does all the work. Listen to that bike. My lord, it sounds so good. You know, I've ridden a V-twin Transalp. Boring. If you're interested in getting an old school V-twin, this is the one to get. And I think the only V-twin from Honda that I lust after is the Honda RC51. So Caramulo, this road, we're almost at the top here in the town of Caramulo. It goes from really Viseu, or near Tondela, to Aveiro, where I'm gonna go. And it's a really good stretch of road. This section, they look like they're repairing the road. Spirited riding, that's what I like to call it. Because I don't ride particularly fast when it comes to twisty riding. I mean, I've known riders that was just so incredibly fast, but I've always thought it was just too gross riding ultra fast on a road, because like you're leaving a lot of things up in the air, a lot of chances. The type of riding that I do might seem dangerous to a few people, but I think most riders that know how to ride, they realize that, yeah, you could go a whole lot faster. It just, you want to know what your limits are. You want to know your limits are and then push it back down to 70%. That way, you don't run into issues while riding. You always have that ability to slow it down, to stop, to see around corners. I mean, for me, that's always the most important thing, is safe riding. Yeah, spirited riding, but I'm just not charging through. Like, if I can't see this corner, I'm not going to go through. That's the way I try to ride everything. No matter if I know a turn that's been there forever, like I know I can take it at 100, I won't take it at 100, because I'm always like looking for other elements, cars, debris, like anything on the road, somebody using the road as well. That's like my philosophy to riding. It's like, ride your own ride, but always ride safe. There's no point of getting hurt. If you get hurt, you can't ride anymore. And to me, that's the biggest punishment. Or hurt somebody else. I would absolutely freaking hate that. Sometimes I'm going around one of these corners and there's like somebody on the road. I'm like, oh my god, I should have slowed down more. I can't believe there's like no rallies that beat in this section, Caramulo. There's going to be one in Goiás, which I plan on going. Not sure what I'll do, maybe camp out or something. I've never gone to a motorcycle rally in Portugal. If I knew ahead of time, I would have gone to the one in Faro, which is like, I guess, the largest one. Don't get carried away with riding. You always have to remember, could be a car coming the opposite way. dives in quite a bit when you're riding, but you can squeeze it out of corners fairly well. It does tend to go wide and a little bit slower into corners because of the 21-inch front wheel, but not bad for a dual sport, a large dual sport. And we're in Aveiro district. You can tell that the road has become a whole lot rougher, but that really is not going to mean much on this bike, because this bike is able to cope with this. That's the beauty of the large adventure bikes. I mean, the difference of asphalt is just so different, but the bike will still do it. Probably not as fast, but it's incredibly well behaved in the lumpy tarmac. Oh, see that? The sport bike would not have liked that. Big lump on the road there. Maybe it's the moisture coming up and like screwing up the roads. Such lumpiness. Yeah, this lumpiness could send a sport bike off into a ravine here, because you can lose control, but because of the suspension of these dual sports, these adventure bikes, it's just so much easier to control. That's why I keep saying that, you know, the adventure bike segment is probably the best segment right now. It has everything that most riders want. It's essentially like the naked bikes of yesterday. The adventure bikes have become almost generic because, oh, I slid my rear tire there. I'm telling you, this bike creates a lot of torque at 4,000 RPMs. It's just extremely torquey. Not dorky. Little bit of a close encounter with a Mercedes that was cutting through a corner. I honked at her and all was forgiven. Well guys, that is the end of riding Caramulo. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a great place and it's very close to major cities, so you're never that far away from the great twisting roads and off-roading. So if you're in Aveiro, if you're in Lisbon, you can get to Caramulo very easily. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next ride. Thanks for watching.